into your hands, Lord, that he'll be able to present in a way that he'll be able to understand. And we pray, Lord, that you're also going to help us to be open-minded, to be able to apply what we shall be taught. We thank you for this opportunity. We give you glory, for it is in Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. So, Mr. Makori, I think I want to take this opportunity to invite you to take us through the bit on assessment. Colleagues, I hope we have our laptops with us. We have paper and pen so that we can be able to take notes. I'm hoping that at the end of this training, we can be able to show that through practice with the knowledge that we have acquired. If you have any questions, kindly put them on the chat. They'll be attended to. We have Wilberforce, our ICT guy who's going to assist us in case of any issues that we may have with joining or anything that is ICT related. We also have some TVETA officers who will assist in answering questions where they are able to. But I know our facilitator will be the main person who's going to be answering most of the questions. So, Mr. Makori, karibu sana.
Thank you, Daktari. Colleagues, I want to welcome you to today's session. And this session is simple, but because of the many concepts that you need to learn, sometimes it seems to be complicated. But ensure that you capture at least one concept per section. So on assessment, you capture something. On tracking, you capture something. And on reporting, you capture something. And as you use the learning management system, you are going to just learn the rest. And now it will be obvious and they won't be difficult anymore. And you will enjoy using a learning management system. And by and large, it will make your work easy as a trainer. And it can help you complement your teaching other than just an online class. You can also use it for your regular students to just also track their performance, where you need to give them assessments. You can be able to use the system, and it will be able to like put your assessments together, give you even grades and all that. So I hope you are seeing my screen. Somebody can confirm.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, so today we are looking at assessment, tracking, and reporting in Moodle. From the tools that you are given to fill, I'm sure you have come across where you are supposed to demonstrate how you do assessments, how you track your student learning, and how you generate reports. So the Moodle Learning Management System has most of the facilities that you require to comply to the standard. So as long as you are able to use them, then you can be able to demonstrate how your learning management system is able to give you various reports, and it will be easy for you to be accredited as an ODEL center. So I will just go through the slides and then we will try to do practice. I don't like using slides, but I think it is also a way of passing information. When we do online courses design, we use a concept known as universal design for learning, a course that you need to take on the Commonwealth of Learning open courses, so that you understand how to develop online content. And the principles in UDL include multiple ways of representing your content and multiple ways of engagement. And because of that, you need to do text-based, you need to do animations, you need to do videos, you need to do pictures, infographics, and all that. So universal design for learning is what we use to do online content development. So this training session aims to equip you with the necessary skills to utilize Moodle effectively, focusing on creating assessments, tracking progress, and generating insightful reports. So those are the three things that we are looking at today. So we start with assessments. So Moodle supports a variety of assessment types aimed at measuring student learning. The types include assignments, quizzes, and forums. Assignments allow instructors to assess written tasks or projects, while quizzes can include multiple choice questions, short answers, long answer essays, and many others. So understanding these options enables trainers to choose the most appropriate assessment based on the learning objectives. So to add an assignment activity on your course, you just need to follow the same steps that we used last time to add some content to our course, and select assignments. Then you click add. After adding, now you'll be able to fill the necessary details like the instructions to your learners, the type of submissions that you want. Is it text they type in the LMS? Is it a file they are going to upload? Is it a video? And all that. So then you set the deadlines and also how the system is going to grade the assignment. Then you save the changes. So as simple as that, you are able to add an assignment. And then there is the quiz. So to add a quiz is so that we can be able to differentiate. So an assignment is just the way the university or the college, you are being given an assignment, and then you write maybe in a document, and you print out, and then you submit by the deadline date, and the teacher will mark and give you feedback. It's the same way in a Moodle-based learning management system. So you can ask your students to perform a certain task, and the output of that task they submit to you so that you can be able to look at it and give remarks, as well as if it is having some marks or a rubric for assessment, then you can be able to just look at it and award marks. A quiz, on the other hand, contains multiple questions, and the questions are of different types. So multiple choice questions, you have seen MCQ somewhere. Multiple choice questions, MCQ. True, false answer questions, short answer questions, long essay questions, calculated questions. There are different types of questions that you can add to a quiz. So there's a difference between an assignment activity and a quiz activity. So the assignment, you can, like, for example, attach just the normal way you set up an assignment paper that has maybe questions. Then you give it to your students, they answer the questions, they generate a report or a submission. I don't know how we call it. And then you mark that. So that one applies to assignments. An exam type, for example, where you have given questions, the answer within the question paper, they give you answers, could be ABCD, could be short answers, could be essay questions, could be calculated questions, and all that. And we are going to see that as we progress for a quiz. Yeah, so so the quiz is the main way we do assessments in our systems. And Moodle offers various question types for assessments. Choosing the right question type enhances learning and evaluation. So sometimes we say, of course, with the advent of AI, we expect our students to maybe check somewhere and as they are going through the questions. But what usually happens in Moodle, the way you ask your questions will either allow them to use other online tools to answer your questions, like other chatbots, or it can be more critical, more application based, and the timing you set, does it just allow thinking, or it also lets the person maybe copy paste a question, put it in a chat bot, and give you answers. So those are things that we will ask, and they have solutions, and maybe expect such questions at the end of this. So we have multiple choice questions. MCQs look like this. For example, what is the capital of Kenya? So is it Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, or Nakuru? So you note that an MCQ has a single or multiple correct answers. It can shuffle options for randomness. So at one point, Nairobi can be at the top. In another student, Nairobi is at the bottom or in the middle. Or you can have even more options, like 5 of them, but only one is right, just to engage the student. So you can also give feedback for each choice. So these things can enhance learning other than assessment. So you can use this one not to maybe award marks for your students, but to enable them learn. So, and if you make them know that it is these kind of quizzes are there to enable them learn, not to assess them, they might take them seriously in terms of trying to get the concepts right. Number 2, we have true-false questions. The example is that the sun rises in the west. Is it true or false? Yeah. So the key features is that it is simple and quick. So if, for example, you're doing a live class assessment, you can use multiple true false questions and you do them in the flash. They just log into the system you set up, and then you just tell them to get into the system and answer these questions. And you'll be able to get immediate feedback and also results and some statistics that you can use to guide how your class flows. So we have also short answer questions. For example, who invented the World Wide Web? So the correct answer is Tim Berners-Lee. So this one is also automatically marked. The first, this MCQ, true, false, and this one, short answer questions, are automatically marked. But short answer questions have some issues sometimes. The system might not be able to see. If, for example, you put a double space between Tim Berners, or you forget to put the hyphen under Lee, it can see that as a wrong answer. So most of the time we don't use this. But if it is something that is obvious, then, and you know your students cannot not add some characters to their responses, then you can be able to use short answer questions. Then we have essay questions. For example, explain the importance of renewable energy sources. 1, it requires manual grading, and 2, it supports rich text and attachments. So you can ask your students to, as if they were writing in the question paper, to write on the LMS, and yourself, you'll be able to grade manually. You can be able to read and award marks based on what they have written. With the type of students we usually have, this one has been difficult, but as time goes by, we are getting a generation that is more informed, more tech-savvy, and we should think beyond the current crop of students, but we look to the future. And by any case, this training, we are trying to focus on students who are willing to study online and who want to access courses, maybe because of cost, maybe because of being unable to be accommodated near training institutions and all that. So we are trying to break those barriers. So they will be willing to do anything that the system requires them to do. They will not be complaining that they don't know how to type and such. Then we also have matching questions, match the country to its capital. So we can be able to set a question that, for example, lets us put the right order of given question and answers. So what is the capital of Kenya? Is it Nairobi, Kampala, or Dodoma, or even more? You can have more options. They choose the best. Now, the key features is that it tests relationships between items. It can shuffle the answers for variability. Numerical questions. What is 15 plus 5? You expect the student to give a precise answer. So this is also something that you can use, especially for those who are doing numeracy skills. It allows mathematical responses. So they can calculate on the sides and give you an answer, and the system will automatically mark. Now we also have drag and drop questions. They drag the correct labels to their respective parts of a computer. So you'll have a monitor displayed, a keyboard displayed, a CPU displayed. You expect the students to pick the word monitor and place it on the correct image, and etc., etc. So the key features for this is that it is engaging and interactive. It is useful for visual assessments. Now we have close questions. Fill in the blank spaces. So here is where, for example, you can have a paragraph, and the paragraph, within the paragraph, you expect them to fill the missing words. You remember when you were learning grammar in high school or wherever, you you had you used to have a paragraph whereby you were expected to fill in the correct words in the blank spaces. So those are called closed questions. So for example, the largest ocean in the Pacific in the world is the dash ocean. So you're supposed to input Pacific. So key features to this, it accepts single or multiple blanks. It can allow alternative answers. So depending on how you set your questions, you will be able to achieve that. We are going to see more, but those are the mostly used types of questions, and you're going to see what the system offers. And besides that, Moodle is a bit more flexible. You can be able to include plugins that can even have other ways of doing assessments. So when you start training your students, you'll be doing continuous research, and through the research, you'll be able to introduce more ways of assessing your students. And you can also integrate with other systems that are used for assessments. So really, Moodle is powerful, it is open, and it allows you to access so many things. You have seen, okay, question or something? Now, we can use a mix of questions types for effective assessment. We can consider difficult levels and feedback for each question. Always preview and test your quizzes before publishing. So once you set up your quiz, as a trainer, you should also do the quiz before you administer it to your student. So Moodle allows you to do this by using the preview. So if you click on preview, and you'll be able to allow you to attempt the quiz. So you'll be able to attempt the quiz and see how long you will take to answer the questions and whether you'll be able to get all the answers right. And that will guide you on the time you're going to give your students to undertake the quiz. So how do we track students' progress in the Moodle Learning Management System? So first things first, like we said last time, we enable course completion tracking. So you go to the course settings, select completion tracking, set the tracking method for each activity or resource, specifying criteria such as whether a student needs to view, receive a grade, submit work for completion, etc. So it helps you to have a course that can even self-flow. Once a student finishes, they can be able to move to the next. So we start with completion tracking, and then we move to restriction of access. So you have to set completion tracking for all the resources and all the all the modules within your course, so that you're able to proceed. Now, so after setting this completion tracking logs, you can now put restrictions, as you have said. So how do you also confirm that your student is accessing the LMS? You can now use Moodle logs to track your students' activities. So as a site administrator, you are able to access students' interaction with the learning management system. So Moodle provides detailed logs that allow instructors to monitor student activities. So sometimes you find a student comes, tells you they submitted their work, and they insist that it is the system that is having issues. So you just need to go to site administration, and the reports, you'll have various logs. So for example, like this one, I zeroed on this student known as Abigail, and you can see how she was in the system on 15th March. So at 3 or 8 p.m. to 3:20 p.m., she was doing all these activities. So you can be able to see all time logs for a particular student or a particular course and all that. So you can be able to see that. And in case of anything, you can be able to resolve based on those reports. There are more reports, and you can be able to just check on them. So we also have the Moodle Gradebook as one of the reports of tracking your students. So the Moodle Gradebook is a comprehensive tool for evaluating student performance. So it collects grades from various assessments and presents them in an organized manner. To customize the gradebook, access the course settings, and select grades, you can configure categories, set up weighting for different assessments, add graded items directly. The gradebook can generate reports and showcasing student progress, enabling educators to provide targeted feedback. So how you're going to use this is flexible, but just note that we have a gradebook in the learning management system. So I'm sure you'll do better than us when it comes to using the Moodle gradebook for your students, so that we can be able to track progress for your learner. So, so that comes to the end of this. So we have seen tracking progress, and we have also seen reporting. So maybe it is time to allow you to ask questions before we proceed to doing some practice on the things that we have discussed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Orina. This is Michael from Tibet Authority. I'm standing in for Dr. Njoroge, who has just left the meeting. Colleagues and members, it's time now to raise questions before we can proceed to the next session. So the floor is open. Should you have any question, then raise up your hand, and then you should be able to ask the questions. I can see we already have some hands up. I want to begin by allowing Cheryl Apondi to ask a question. And then after Cheryl, we'll have Otuya David also asking a question. Cheryl, please.
All right, good morning, members. A quick one. I was wondering about the timing when it comes to assessment. Are we able to time per question, or it's just the timing for the entire duration for assessment? Thank you.
Okay, maybe I can take even David's. Take two, then we answer both.
Sure. So David, please.
Is about the logs that you have talked about, maybe for a specific student. For example, in our case, we already are using an LMS, and it has over 10,000 users as of now. So I was wondering, accessing logs for a specific, for over 10,000 users, it's a little bit tricky. Is there a simpler way, for example, where we can track maybe attendance or something like that?
Okay, thank you very much, David. I think Orina, you can answer those, and then we can take maybe a round of two more.
Now, Cheryl was asking about timing. Maybe I can share so that we see what's available. So let's go to the courses. We have this course. So we are saying we need to add like a quiz. Yeah. So remember, when developing our courses, we have two categories of items. We have activities and resources, and they are put together here. So an activity is used mainly for kind of assessment or feedback from your students. The student needs to give you something. That is an activity. Then resources, you are the one who is communicating to your students. So, so if we put a quiz, for instance, and you are asking about timing. Timing is here. So we have three things. One is when the quiz will be available. Will it be available throughout? So if it will be available throughout, you just need to open and don't close it. So it will just open and it will not be closed. But then you want your students to do maybe 20 questions in 10 minutes. So you will enable here and say 10 minutes. So what this means is that the quiz will be available to your students anytime of the day from this time going forward. But once the student starts the quiz, after 10 minutes, when time expires, that is here, the attempts are either submitted automatically, or you can give them a grace period, or they must submit. If they don't submit, you assume that they scored a 0. You see, so you have those options. Now, your focus was on a question. So I've not seen that in my experience of using Moodle, that you can be able to set timing for each question. So at the way we do, for example, when you use Kahoot, you teach in class, whereby each question is timed for maybe 30 seconds. So here is a complete quiz that you're going to set up, maybe give it 5 questions, 10 questions, 15 questions, and the timing is together. So yes, you can use timing depending on how you plan your quiz. No, there is no timing question in the Moodle elements. On student logs for 10,000 students. Now, for each particular course, you have participants. Yeah, for each particular course, you have course participants, and I hope they are not 10,000. So you have to use manageable numbers, or you group them and assign them trainers. And the first place to access their interaction with the LMS is here. So when did they last access the course? So if the student accessed long time ago, that's when you go to the reports and check on their logs. And while on it, you can be able to filter. So you can select only a particular course, and you can allow all participants all days, or you can specify the number of days and all that. Then you can get logs for specific a specific bit of your concerned student, the students that you want to monitor. Alternatively, the course participants, you can open the user. Here, there are reports specifically for this particular student. So you can be able to check on today's logs, or all logs, or these others, even grades overview and all that. So this will be for a particular student. So if you have an issue with a particular student, this student known as a green user, you can be able to just check their own logs and see how they are accessing the system, or the course in particular. Yeah, I hope those two are answered.
Okay, then we can take another round. Yeah, I can see Brian. Brian Agola's hand is up. Brian, please.
Yes. Good morning. Mine is to ask if Mr. Joseph could actually clarify. I've seen a member here asking about exam irregularity. How do you prevent exam irregularity? So I'm asking if you could clarify the use of Proctor tools here in Moodle, if it is possible, whereby if a student opens a tab and doing exam or quizzes, if he closes the end of exam. Thank you.
Okay, any other hand? I can't see any other person. So maybe Mr. Orina, you'll respond to that, then we proceed.
Well, so maybe I can just ask the participants to just tell us what do they think about cheating in online exams. Or how do we solve that?
Like I mentioned, there's a tool called Proctored tool that
It's okay,
safeguards the.
not you, Brian. I want to get
Okay.
feedback from others. There are others who have already even implemented some of these things and they're in this training. Yes, Caroline. Or Lois. You can unmute yourself.
Good morning, members. This is Lois Lusak. My case, what I usually do is when you do time the trainees, they don't have time to look around and find the answers. So when you give it a time limit, it enables them to focus on the assessment rather than looking for other irrelevant materials. And then, for instance, when you have it like you capture discrete answers, and like when you'd prefer them to copy paste it from somewhere. Preferably, that is what I do for my case.
It's a good insight. Well, here's Caroline.
Sorry, previously I think I spoke without actually unmuting myself. So as Lois has said, actually time is the best way. And also I think since AI is here, one of the things I think I've used is mixing the answers. AI, you can Google, input your questions previously, you know the exact answers that AI will give, and then you modify the answers. We are the best tools out here, our brains. So you modify the answers that despite them looking at the AI, they will input the answer, but you would have put in some personal impact to the answer that immediately they look at whatever material they are looking at and then input the answer. Whatever answer they expected to be right will be actually wrong. Now, after a few attempts and time is going, they will actually be discouraged and to start to think for themselves.
Yeah, that's very nice. So you can also ask AI as you set your questions, you can ask AI and you see what AI gives you as answers, and then use your own wisdom and re-engineer the answers. Whatever AI gives you, you can make it wrong and give the right answer. So the student will have to think critically, not just pick the answer. And since they're in a rush, sometimes they can't get it right. So you try your best. Now, if regulations don't, maybe before I continue, Lois,
To add something else.
yes.
Yeah. If we have a number of questions, like for instance, if there are 20 questions, you try to reshuffle the questions. So everybody that will be logging in for that assessment will have a different like for number 1 is the other person's number 5 and is the other person's number 10. So they don't have the same question at the same time. So they don't have time for consultation. Everybody is on a different question at the same time. Question reshuffle.
So, okay. So overall, what you need to note is that as a trainer, you just need to be creative. There is no one solution that fits all, and there is no way you're going to leave everything to the system, so that now you say, the system is controlling cheating. So we have other things like Safe Exam Browser. Of course, Safe Exam Browser will control you on the exact network. We also have things like video proctoring tools, like Brian was mentioning, which you can be able to apply. But of course, we look at cost-benefit analysis before we suggest any technology, and also usability for our students. So, there are so many things you can do. other thing, we said that you can have testing centers if it is a serious exam that needs to be checked like it was a written exam. You can have proctoring centers whereby, for example, if you're offering a certain course to the whole country, you can organize with the other national polytechnics. They host your students and they proctor for you the exam. So it's an MOU that maybe you're going to make. So they proctor yours as you proctor theirs. You will know how to compensate each other and all that, so that the students do the exam in a controlled environment. They can maybe use the G2 labs. You schedule them. They come there, do the exam, and somebody's there looking at what they are doing. So there are so many things. Just depends on feasibility and the nature of assessments and how you want to control the assessment and the results you want to achieve. So the bottom line is that the way you try your best to avoid more Kenyas in a physical exam is the same way you are going to apply the rules, regulations, and innovativeness to just control cheating in online exams. Yeah, so on the charts, the issue of plagiarism mechanisms to be in place to copy pasting. I don't know, you can try that. There is Safe Examination Browser in all your devices. We have said that, but then you have heard that somebody can use technology has really changed. Somebody can use a phone, scan the question directly, and get the answer as you are waiting for Safe Exam Browser to check for you. However, it's also okay. Can the attachment or upload assignments be in PDF mode, or it allows both the Word and PDF? So for that question, you just need to set it yourself when you are setting the assignment. Now, because of the cost of storage, we are trying so hard to avoid students uploading files to the LMS. The more the files they upload to your LMS, the more heavy your LMS becomes, and the more space is used, and you will not know how to deal with the lack of space in your LMS. And that's why we advocate so much on e-portfolio, utilization of an e-portfolio, so that the e-portfolio is based on another system, and you just need a link for your submission. So it's an assignment, let them upload it on an e-portfolio. And once they submit it on an e-portfolio, then you access it through the link that they are going to upload, and you will be able to review everything. So sometimes you ask ourselves, so how do you now keep the e-portfolios, or how will you be sure that they will not delete their e-portfolio? Some of these things are about rules and regulations, and also basic structures. Note that even an e-portfolio can be transferred to you, to your email, and the Google-based e-portfolio can be transferred to your email if really they have to submit it once and for all. So you'll be having it and you'll be able to access it. So you can be able to make use of that. So maybe I want to show you our own. We also use e-portfolios when we conduct specific exercises and we submit. And even when we are applying for donor funding, we use the e-portfolios to demonstrate the works that we have done before. So I want to share with you so that you see, for instance, this is a training as Kenya School of TVET you are holding at in Meru. It was about CBET delivery. Most of you have attended this course. And so you can see this is a portfolio for that particular activity or training. So we add this as the facilitators and you document them. Then what was the training about? It was about CBET delivery. So a bit of descriptions of CBET delivery and the illustration of the participants taking the activities. Then we have a gallery of how the training went from the first day to the last day. So this is day 10 and it has several photos for each of the days, day 9 up to the first day, day 1. So really, in short, you cannot say that this activity did not take place. There's a lot of evidence to show what was happening. Then we requested them to develop their own e-portfolios. After developing, they submitted the links to the e-portfolios, and you can see they are here. Then there came graduation. So the graduation ceremony was done, and so we cannot say these are AI generated images. So we can say indeed it happened, and then we did some recording of feedback from 1 or 2 participants and have a video on the same. So if I was a donor and wanted to check on whether Kenya School of TVET does training, I'm convinced that indeed this is one of them, and there are several others. So when we submit the best, and they can review and appraise us and give us a go-ahead maybe with a certain project. So basically, you apply the same for your students. Remember, it is about learning. It's not about passing exams. It's about demonstrating competence in certain learning outcomes. Yes. You specify which files. Yeah, somebody has answered you. You can extend, but also yes. So you can see so many of you have experience in using module-based LMSs to examine their students. You have been students also and all that. And this is the time now to apply that to your own students. Now, so I just want to maybe demonstrate for those who are seeing that for the first time, and we are using our LMSs. I'm hoping that you have tried on your side. And in case you get stuck, we'll be able to help you. You can share your screen, and then we can be able to assist you. Now, yeah, so this is our course. We are in editing mode. This is our course, and here we are in topic 1, which is about algebra, and we have our session plan, and we have added all the other resources like a book. We have added a file that we need them to read and all that. So I want to add an assessment, which is an assignment, and we said it is an activity, or you can even pick it from here, but you can read also more about it and understand how best you can use an assignment activity. So let's just call it assignment, and let's just have it as, maybe we can call it AEM assignment 1. You can give a description and display the description if you want. But then here is where you're giving instructions to your students. So I don't know. Maybe use Copilot. So we are in a topic known as Introduction to Algebra. So I'm using this because I don't have the knowledge for this particular subject for now. So I'm just trying to get information that you can use there. Yeah, so maybe it is this. So total is 20 marks, and this is what I want to expect. Solve the equations and all that. So I copy this, I bring it here. So I'm saying activity instructions. So I paste it under activity instructions. Assuming that it is pasted correctly with the correct formatting, which is not. So I can paste without formatting. It's even worse. Well, so as a trainer, you cannot miss a way of getting your way. So I'll just take a screenshot. And once I take the screenshots, I will come here and just paste it. So the instructions are there. Do I need to add additional files, instructions, if I want? So when will it be available? Allow submissions from 18th. I want it to be submitted by 25th. Should there be a cutoff date? So it means that submissions will not be accepted after this date without an extension. If not, submissions will be accepted. So the due date can be on 25th. Then the cutoff can say, even if they submit late, they can submit after 27th this time. Remind me to grade. You can allow this so that the system pops up something to show you that. So what will they submit? Are they file submissions? Yes. Maximum number of files, you just want them to submit one. So assuming that you have endless resources, now these things. Yeah, so you want to limit so that they don't upload large files. You can say maximum of 1 MB so that they don't give you maybe scanned pages. Feedback, you can set submission settings. You can just read this and just decide. Are they group submissions at this stage? No. And all the other settings. If you're using a competence-based approach, then you can also set competencies at the beginning and you you'll be selecting them here. So it allows that. So save and display. So note that we have an assignment, and for the student to see maybe the description, they need to say add submission, and they will be able to see this. However, if you want them to see this before, you can also put it in the description bit of it, the settings of the assignment. Here under description, you can paste it, say display, so that they don't tell you that you have an assignment that does not have the question. So you can see the description is here, and they can be able to read it from here. So then after they read, they do the instructions you have put here, then they will add their submissions. Well, if it is text-based, which is the most preferred, then you can be able to change your settings and tell them to type inside. So, for example, we can come here, submission type, online text only. You disable this. We can say we just need a maximum of 2,000 words. Then we save and display. So it will also be there. When you say add submission, it will give you somewhere to type and maybe do the other things you record yourself. So those other things. So that is an assignment for you. Well, next we can try to add a quiz. So in a similar way, we can add a quiz. So again, a quiz is an activity. Then we can just say quiz here. And we can also call it maybe cat 1. You can give it IM 1. You can give it a description. You say when the quiz will be available. So let's say today is on 18th. We want it to be available on 20th. From what time? 10:00 in the morning. When will it disappear from the system? Because we have so many students, we make it available the whole day, maybe. So it is on 20th. So it will disappear at midnight. But then our students will require only maybe 20 minutes to finish. So that is the time limit. On grading, so you could have created categories, but we can use the minimum. How many times can they attempt this? Once. They will not allowed to be doing more than once. But if you are using it for just learning, you can allow them to attempt until they get the right answers, or you can give them 3 attempts, and you can also enforce penalties for each attempt. So these are things that you can put. So grade to pass maybe 50%. Layout. Do you want them to see all the questions in one page or each question in one page? We prefer this so that you can be able to shuffle the questions. You can also be able to shuffle the answers. So navigation method, sequential. It means that they must answer a question before they move to the next. Otherwise, if you leave it free, they can move from one question to the other without answering. But we prefer putting it sequential so that even as you shuffle the questions, they don't get a chance to preview the questions, share with others, or tell somebody to answer the question for them. and they come back. So timing, new question every page, navigation method. So Moodle has tried so much to give you facilities to enable you have authentic assessments. So question behavior, shuffle within questions, yes. Feedback, it is deferred so that it comes after everything. So you can also be able to read about all these other methods. You can Google and see what is adaptive mode in Moodle questions or quizzes and all. No penalties, with penalties, deferred, all that. So you can be able to put all those, you can be able to enforce all those to make your students take your quizzes serious. But of course, you need to be realistic also as you assess your students. So review means when the students are undertaking the course or the questions, what will happen? Now that we have said it will be available from 10 to midnight, we don't want them to see the answers. So even if they finish the attempt, we don't want them to see anything. Yeah. So you disable that. Later, while the quiz is still open, you don't want them to see that. After the quiz is crossed, that is after midnight, now you can allow them to see feedback, marks, all that. Or you can still hide the marks and all that. So you can be able to just make your own settings. You can enforce that the students must have profile pictures. So the Save Exam browser, you can make it required. So you can be able to set up and make it required. But for starters, you can avoid this. And anything that you enforce here, it is very good to log in as a student. You can have another account as a student, use different devices to log in and see how the restriction affects the user experience. So everything that you enforce here, don't assume that it is going to be okay to your students. As you enforce it, try it first. See the challenges you'll get, solve the challenges in advance, and then now you will be able to make informed decisions whether to enforce some things or not to enforce them. So if, for example, we said here, we allow multiple attempts, like let's say 2, and if we say 2, then we can decide whether they'll get an average grade or they'll get the grade of the first attempt or the last attempt, or you give them the highest grade. So let's just maybe penalize them a bit and just have an average grade. So when you come down here, you can be able to say that for them to attempt again, they need to put a code. Then you'll give them a code they have to request so that they can be able to log in and do the second attempt. Now, you can now set up overall feedback. You can do common module settings. You can restrict access. It means that maybe they must read these previous things before they can be able to access. So here is where you can put the restriction. So how do we say this thing is complete? So you can add requirements and say that they must receive a grade, any grade or a passing grade. So they must pass. If they don't pass, that activity is not marked complete. Well, so issues of competencies and that, you can be able to just Google and find out more about that. So save and display. So after doing this, so maximum, where have you put the maximum? Well, so these are things that you can change. Let's 5 out of 10. So save and display. We'll be able to change later because we don't even have questions. So as you can see here, we have created the template of our cards, but there is no question. So you can add questions. So there are several ways of adding questions. We can use question bank method, or we can use one question at a time. So we use one question at a time so that we can be able to learn the different types of questions, which I don't think I'll be able to teach you. I'll just show you how to add them, and you'll be able to check it out. And also consider the video that I sent at the beginning so that you can be able to learn more about adding questions. So if, for example, if I go back to my courses, I open the course, I go to this topic, apply algebra. We have added an assignment, we have added a quiz, but this quiz is empty. And that's why I've come back here. If I stop editing, so you can see it is here, and it will open on Thursday, 20th at 10 a.m. and it closes on Thursday, 11:59 p.m. So you have to do it, receive a grade and receive a passing grade so that it is marked complete. So if I open it, it does not have questions. It is asking me to add questions because I'm the teacher or admin. So we can add question from here, but I prefer you just go here so that next time when you have one question here, this button will not be here. When you have the first question, this button will disappear. So you go to questions here. So when you go to questions, on the right-hand side, you can see add. You can add a new question or a question from a question bank or a random question. So what does this mean? New question, you are typing everything. From bank, you're selecting from existing questions in the question bank. You can see it here. A random question, you are still getting it from the question bank, but you want it to select by itself. You're not going to select now. It will be random here so that for each student, it will just give them their own question. Of course, testing the same things. Right? So you can have 200 questions and ask 5 random questions, as long as you know that they have covered all that is in the question bank. So they can be able to answer random questions. So if you have 200 questions and you have maybe 20 students and you ask them only 5 questions, then you can almost be certain that each student will have their own questions and they will not be trying to share their questions, the answers, because the questions will be different. So let's try to add a new question from scratch. So when you do that, you are given the different types of questions. We have multiple choice question, we have true false question, we have matching questions, we have short answer questions, we have numerical, we have essay, we have calculated, we have calculated multiple choice, we have calculated simple, we have drag and drop into text, we have drag and drop markers, we have drag and drop onto image, we have embedded questions, the closed questions that we talked about, we have ordering, arranging items in order, we have random short answer matching, We have selecting missing words, etc. So in most of the time, we use MCQs because they are easy to set and they are easy for the students' devices. Some of these questions, they bring you trouble, but if you train your students well, they can be able to adapt to this and you can be able to ask them to use the right devices and also use the right tools. So we add a question, ABCD. So even this one is some knowledge that you need to see. Like you see, all this is one question. All this, you're setting one question. So question name, we can call it Q1. Question text is the question itself. So we can use what we had here. So what is the capital of Kenya? What is the capital of Kenya? Marks is 1. General feedback, if you want to give them, maybe the capital city of Kenya is Nairobi. It's the feedback you want to give after they have answered the question. So one or multiple answers, yeah? So it's one answer. So you select here. So if there are multiple answers, then you select. So I will change so that we see what happens down here when you change to the multiple answers. So so what do we label our questions? Capital ABCD. Show standard instructions. I don't think we need to do that, but we can do that anyway. So it's okay, so that it is very clear. So choice 1, what is the possible answer? Nairobi, for example. So if somebody selects Nairobi, what grade will they get? 100% because it's the right answer, right? We can give feedback to this answer now. This is the general feedback for the question. This is the feedback if somebody selects this answer. So you can say like, this is correct. This is correct. Choice number 2, Jamena. So this is the wrong answer. So the feedback would be wrong answer. So note that under grade, it is nothing because this one has taken all the marks. Choice number 3, Kampala. It is none, then wrong answer. Choice number 4, Dodoma. You can add even choice 5 or you just leave it blank. Maybe Addis Ababa. None, wrong answer. So after you do this, You can allow multiple tries if you want. And if they try again, you give them a penalty. So even if they get it right, they will get right by less at 3.3%. I hope that's understood. So save changes. So now our cat has one question. So we can assume those are all the questions we were setting, and we give it 10, which is if they get it right, they get 10/10. If they get it wrong, it is 0/10. Yeah, so that's it. So you have created a quiz. You can add the other types of questions if you want. So, and then we said that after you do that, you can preview your quiz. By previewing your quiz, it allows you to attempt and start attempt. So it has started counting time for you. And it is here. So we have 19 minutes remaining to answer this question. So if we select, for example, C as our answer, we finish the attempt. We say submit all and finish. It's submit all and finish, and you have to show your students how to submit their work. So you can see, because we said that we can't see the answers or any feedback until midnight tomorrow, or was it here? Until 10:20, whatever the time we set here. So we cannot be able to see any feedback, even for our own preview. So as a teacher, first you need to like change this. Yeah. You allow yourself to see this, but now we can't edit because already we have attempted. So we can allow this so that we can be able to see what the students will see later. But remember, these are there for you so that you can be able to hide your responses until everybody finishes the quiz, and then now they can be able to check whether they were wrong or right. So if finish attempt, submit all and finish. Yeah, so you can see now it allows me to see my grade, and it tells me your answer is incorrect, wrong answer. The capital city of Kenya is Nairobi. The correct answer is Nairobi, right? So I think you're able to see that. And so basically that's how we set this. And when we use MCQs, we do that. So what if this question had multiple answers? What will happen? So if, for example, the questions, if, for example, we were to edit this question and say that this question has more answers, so multiple answers. So assuming that the city, the capital of Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya is both Nairobi. So you give it 50% and Kampala. So you gave it the remaining 50%. So you must be able to balance this. If you give a figure that does not give us 100%, then this system will tell you that you need to give another answer that will take us to 100. So I save changes. So we have set that, and We have said the answers are 2, and if you get the one answer right, you get 50% of the marks. If you get both answers right, you get 100%. So let's try and see. So we can review attempts, review quiz, start attempt. And I select Nairobi only and say finish. Then I say submit all and finish. So you see, this is correct, but I got 50% because the question has 2 answers. The capital city of the correct answer is Nairobi and Kampala. So I should have selected Kampala and Nairobi so that I can get 100%. So there are several tools there for you to just set your questions in a way that you enable your students to learn the maximum, and don't surprise them with some of these things. Let them be knowing. Give them trial cards before you let them have the cards. So you can also call this an assignment, kind of. So it depends on the word that you use. It doesn't have to be called Cat 1. If maybe you are testing them to just show them the system, how the system works, how it marks, and all that, you can set a test, maybe. You call it a certain name so that they get used to using the system and how to answer questions in your cards. So you can be able to do all that, test all the other types of questions, let them check out and enable them learn. That is the most important thing in this. We want them to learn, not them to fail. So don't be like those teachers who used to tell us the first lecture. They inform us that only 20% of their students passed their unit. So be ready to fail at the beginning of the semester. So you lose hope even before you start. So facilitate learning. This is a skill-based approach. This is TVET. This is maybe not university where you want to show prowess of passing your exams. You want your students to capture the right skills, the right attitudes, and be ready for the market. Because you just want them to have a life their own. So I think that is enough for today. I know we have not covered 100%, but I believe that that jumpstarts those who have not accessed assessments in the learning management system to be able to create assessments in Moodle. Now, there's a question on the chat. How can you control or monitor the fee payments since all students can log in and learn? Well. So this is something that we are going to learn in the next session. The final session is about Moodle administration. And remember, the time that we take, we cannot learn everything. Some of these things we are just being shown that they exist so that we can take our time to utilize them. The beauty is that we said we will we said that you can create your own learning management system, add your own students, try to manage them, be the administrator there so that you can see everything that Moodle has from the administrator's side. So most of the time you are just as maybe a teacher in a certain unit, so you don't see several things. And because of that, it makes hard for you to learn certain things. But now here, we gave you a way of creating your own learning management, seeing everything, adjusting everything as you wish, adding and deleting until you're sure of what you're doing. So mathematical input tools, we have said that you can stretch your Moodle, the one that is hosted in a place where you have full control, not this free one. You can be able to add various plugins and make sure they work for your students, and make it possible for them to answer questions the way you want. But the only thing I want to tell you is that don't try to copy the physical to exactly the same way to theory. It's like trying to drive a manual car like an automatic car, or the automatic car driving it like a manual car. Like you want to shift the lever. Once you put it on drive, you continue. There's nothing else you need to do. Some things have been taken care of by technology. So don't try to copy. The way you shift the manual gear, you want to shift the automatic gear the same. No, it can't work. So you need to be creative and adapt to new technologies. Now, so there are several people on the chat, and they want me to add them to the LMS. Well, let me show you where the LMS are coming from so that you don't trouble yourself. So in the first session, which you missed, we went to a place known as genomio.com. This one here. Yeah, so we came here to genomio.com. We created our own learning management system by just putting a word there and your email address there, and then saying I've read with the terms. The terms are down here and more, so you need to read them. And then I said create site, and it sent me instructions to my email, which looked like this. Your Moodle site is this, and your login information is this, and the password is that. And I was able to log in. And I know that somebody is trying to copy this password so that they can log into my site. But I changed that. Don't waste your time. Now, so after doing this, you can create your own site and manipulate it the way you want. Note that you can just create, and it is Moodle, and you can test everything that you want to test, anything that you have seen me do, and just create it. And maybe just to encourage you that you can also make money from this kind of knowledge. If you've been struggling to find out how to make money, you can create a learning management system, create a single course in the learning management system, and train your colleagues on certain things or a certain pool of people, and let them just pay you like maybe 100 bob a week so that you can be able to facilitate them. So if you do the mathematics, you can see the 100 bob can be a lot of money if you have a good plan on how you're going to to do that. We have seen people do that. We have taught students, they have gone out there, created a learning management system, created a course that they thought was needed by fellow professionals, and they were paying as little as 100 shillings. So you can see if it's 100 times maybe 100 people per week, you can do the mathematics. If the course is 5 weeks, you can do the mathematics. And we are able to guide them, to show them. They can be able to submit some things. They can review that, and you can be able to get money to kickstart another business. So it is up to you. So you have the freedom, you have the knowledge. It is up to you to see what you can do with it. So those asking to be added to my LMS, create yours and do everything that you can see here. And on top of that, I sent a guide on how to do that, which I want to see whether I still have it. Yes. Yes, let me get you the. Let me get you the. Yeah, on the chat, I want to post a link to YouTube that has a series of videos that shows you how to create your own learning and management system and do everything that you are saying, creating quizzes, everything, right? Customizing the sections, adding files, exploring the different options. So, and they are short videos. You can do one a day and make sure you capture all that is being said there, and proceed on until you finish the 13 videos. So in about, if you are faster, in 5 days, you have mastered. If you're slower, you can take 13 days and you will be able to master. Yeah, somebody is asking, how do you prevent the courses created from disappearing? I don't know what you mean, but we said that you can back up your courses. And maybe at this point, I can request Michael Kegige Jr. if you're in the meeting. This case is not in. If you're in, you can say, Michael Mawera. Looks like today is not in. Well, so you can be able, we said that you can be able to create backups of your course, and you can reuse the backup every time you want to create a new instance of the course, and you'll be safe. So after you finish doing your courses, you're comfortable, they are quality assured, they are checked that they are following all the requirements of the course according to the occupational standards and the curriculum. Then you can be able to download it and store it somewhere, so that even if your LMS crashes, you have copies of your courses. You just need to restore them, and you'll go back to the beginning of your course and facilitate for new students. But also, as you continue, you will have to put in place measures of backing up your whole LMS again and again regularly, so that in case something happens, you can be able to recover to the latest backup. And I'm sure most of you are experts in that area, and will have to explore ways of doing backups to your databases and the site. And you can be able to recover from that. And I think it is also a requirement in the TVETA standard, ODEL standard, on backup and recovery. So you'll have to have some policy on how to do backups and recovery for your websites. So we are using Genomio for learning. We are not using Genomio for teaching. However, you can use it in your personal capacity. For the institution, you need to use the paid version. Don't use the free version if you are going to Genomio. But my advice was to reduce so much trouble, you can talk to Kenneth. They provision for you some resources sufficient for your institution at a certain fee. You don't have to stretch so much. Don't say, the more you say you want concurrence of, for example, like 10,000 students, you'll not be able to do that. So concurrency is only very important when especially you are doing quizzes. So quizzes are very heavy when it comes to your Moodle LMS. But if the quiz is a bit flexible, it is not timed that, for example, the students will have to access it from 10 to 11, 1 hour, all of them at the same time, then it can be more flexible. So reduce the concurrency. Maybe you can work with 500. After some time, you can increase it to 1,000. So if you work with Kenneth, you can start with 500. As you recruit more students, you make more money, then you can be able to increase the resources and have it take care of more students. So as we wait for the State Department to establish its servers, put everything in place so that they can take care of everybody in the country, in the TVET landscape. Yeah, so with those remarks, I again open for questions and answers which are not on the chat. We want to purchase a computer that we can use locally to host our LMS. Kindly remind me of the specifications. Maybe we can get that from the other participants who have tried that. Well, maybe at some point I will give you some server specifications so that you can see whether it is possible or it is better you do cloud-based. Locally is also good, but we have challenges managing our networks. We have challenges managing our security and all that. But I will share with you some specifications. Well, so participants, the door is open for questions, and I can see Paul is in. I don't know whether he's able to talk.
Mr. Orina, I think Paul may be in, but he's not in a position to talk.
Okay.
So I can be able to talk on his behalf.
Okay.
Maybe what we need to do is to invite the questions from participants and then finalize. Participants, the floor is open for questions. Ones that you were not able to type in the chat section, please raise up your hands so that you can seek clarifications on the various things that you've been able to go through.
And anybody who typed in the chat and we didn't see the question, you can ask.
As you think of the questions to ask, I want to take this opportunity to also thank our presenter, Mr. Orina. I think you've been able to do good work. We've been following closely and we are really benefiting from this training. I can see some hands are already coming up. So we'll allow Lois Lusaka to go first, after which we'll have Rasto Pio. We can take those two questions as others think of what else is a clarification on. So Lois, please switch on your mic.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ambuli. Mine is not a question really, but I also want to second what you've just said. Mr. Makori has done a good job. He has taught us a lot. Some we had forgotten. For purposes of practice, I think it's good that we do practice and sharpen our techniques on the issue of managing the LMS. Personally, I've been challenged and I appreciate that. So I wanted to talk because people are not raising up hands to maybe ask questions, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm very, very grateful to Mr. Makori. Thank you so much for this and the TVET team.
Okay, thank you, Lois, for that. Rasto Opio, do you have any question? Switch on your mic.
Yes, good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
There's a question I asked and it was attempted, but I can make more clarification on it. I opened my Moodle and then I was working on my courses. There's a course I created and then worked on it, uploaded some items. And then when I went back in the second login, all the items were not there. So how can, what happened?
You can share your
Thank you for
screen.
that.
You're in a position.
Makori, please.
Yeah, they can share their screen. We see what they are seeing and explain the problem further.
Rasto, are you in a position to share your screen?
Not really.
So you are unable to
Not
share the
really
screen?
means,
Okay,
not
let me
really
share.
means, yeah.
So I think if you are not in a position to share a screen, maybe we can carry forward that question. Oh, there you go.
So I was working on this and then I created a course, communication skills. I worked on it, attached guides and even a video. And then when I went to second login, it was now not there, like it is appearing this way.
When you go to home, we see. Click on home. Scroll down.
Sorry?
Scroll down. The end, the bottom there.
So why is it not appearing under my courses?
What is this? You're not enrolled as a student or a teacher or something. Yeah? So you open it and then you can enroll yourself there.
As a student?
Yes, or a teacher.
Using the same username?
Just open the course and guide you. Click on communication skills, go to participants. Enroll. I don't know whether there's a, you can select on search, you see who is missing. Search.
So there's
Yeah,
created like a
select
student.
that link. Yes. Enroll. So now if you go to my courses, you will be able to see it. You can click on my courses. Is it there? Refresh, maybe. Okay, I see. You see on the filters, you have written future there.
So I say in
Put
progress.
all.
Mm. Yeah, okay, can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So any other question from the participants? So if there are no further questions, then ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for joining this training. Our presenter has been able to do a very good presentation. All of us have been able to learn to a greater extent. Remember that, as he has always mentioned, he cannot be able to take you through everything, but it's our duty and responsibility to ensure that we continue practicing, and especially for those who are beginners, so that we can be able to perfect on the interaction or use of LMS. All this is in the interest of trying to apply the same in our various institutions. So, Bwana Makori, I want to thank you very much on behalf of the team for a job well done. And hopefully we'll continue interacting so that you continue supporting us, learning how to use learning management systems so that we can be able to start ODEL training in our institutions. Kevin, your hand is up. Kevin Koech, you have a question? Switch on your mic, please, and raise your question if you have one.
Hello.
Yes, Kevin,
Yes,
we can
yes.
hear you.
Yes, I wanted to ask on service as a service, something as SaaS. Is it SaaS?
Okay, software as a service. What
Yes,
about it?
yes. Can we have it so that we can integrate or you can onboard all institutions and you have one point hosting it?
Well,
Okay.
And then
maybe I
also,
can respond.
yes, and then also other platform which can offer everything you have. Sometimes we have weaknesses also, or we don't have other features on this module. For instance, an app, does it have an accompanying app which may be standalone rather than the one you are inputting URL, like a standalone app for maybe iOS or Android, and then also for instructors, separate for instructors, separate for trainees. And someone asked about mathematical typing. I guess on input, I wanted to suggest to put my input there. We have on text option advanced, you can type equations, mathematical equations. But someone they asked well, how to mark now, subject mathematical in nature. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Maybe I can answer that. Now, colleagues, we are teaching you on based on things which are not going to make your institution break the bank. Any technology that you need in this world is available, but to what cost? That is the question you ask yourself. And we don't want you to overthink. We want you to use available resources to achieve the best that we can. So the issue of software as a service. Now, I don't know what really your intention is, so that you just want to rent out something, but software as a service, Genomio is software as a service, so you pay for that, and it comes to you as a service. They provision for you both hardware and software, and yours is just to create courses and go. So you can use that, and it is a module based, and it will comply with all the standard requirements for the TVETA ODEL standard. About mathematical equations, we said that you can be able to add plugins to your Moodle LMS so that it can be able to do whatever you want to do. But you ask yourself, is it friendly to your students, the students that you anticipate to have? You can have the best technology, the most modern technology, but is it taking care of your students, right? So really, you need to just ask yourself those questions, and we are not forcing you to use this. If you can be able to use another LMS and your teachers, your students adapt it, and it has all the requirements of the TVET ODEL standard, and you have all the money to pay for it, well, go for it. In terms of application you have mentioned, it's like, if I heard you well, it's like you're aware that Moodle has an application that allows you to access the Moodle site on an application. And that application, of course, it is installable in iOS and also in Android. I don't know why you'd want people to have different applications. The teacher a different application, the student a different application. Maybe what I can tell you is that in how the Moodle works is that you are only a teacher in a particular unit. You are not a teacher in the system. In the system, you are just a user. I hope you'll get that. You're just a user. Once you are enrolled to a certain course, you're either a student or teacher or a manager and the other roles. But basically the two roles are teacher or a student. So if you are enrolled as a student, even if you use the same Moodle application, you will only see what a student is supposed to see. If you're a teacher, you will see what you will have seen if you accessed the Moodle site using a web browser. Basically, at the back end, it's the same thing. In the front end, you can either access the system using a browser or an application. Now, the Moodle application can be customized for you. You can pay for it. So if you go to moodle.org, they allow you to pay. They customize it for you. Then they put your brand colors and all that, and you pay for that. So I hope your questions are answered. But then ours is to just encourage you to focus on open source, learn. Moodle, you can be able to even make changes to it. If you're hosting it on your own server, you can even edit the code. You can have LTI integration. You can be able to integrate with your ERP and all those things. But for now, we just want you to, first of all, get used to Moodle, use it, try to exhaust the functionalities that it has before you even try to edit it to meet certain requirements. Don't overthink, teach. The main purpose is for you to teach, not to showcase your skills in technology. There's a difference between teaching using technology, and there is the other thing of creating technology for teaching. So focus on teaching using technology.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph, for that very clear answer, that we have to keep it simple. We don't have to break the bank. Of course, Kevin, you may be aware also that the ODEL standard developed by Tibet Authority allows you to run on a cloud platform. So be it software as a service, platform as a service, whatever you may please, you could consider doing that. But again, the advice here that you're getting is that because this is a learning process, let's keep it simple. We don't actually have to venture into the most expensive solutions for this unless you have the requisite resources. I hope that answers your question, Kevin. So I'll request that we proceed now that there's no any other hand that is up. I want to pass a few announcements. Last week, we requested institutions to be able to share with us to carry out a self-assessment based on the ODEL tool and share with us that filled-in form through our email, which is research@tiveta.go.ke. We also circulated a link that we wanted you people to assist us to collect information that would help us complete the baseline survey on ODEL implementation in our national polytechnics. So far, I wish to announce that for the survey, the baseline survey, we've been able to receive responses from 6 national polytechnics, while for the self-assessment, only 3 national polytechnics have been able to do a self-assessment, fill in the ODEL accreditation tool, and shared with us through the email that I've just mentioned. Remember that the deadline for submission of that information had been set to 18th, which is today. We do request that you expedite that because we really require that information to enable us to do the report. Because we are on the last day and you are yet to submit that data, and also based on the request from institutions for the extension of the deadline, we've agreed that we are going to extend the deadline to Friday this week, which is 21st. Our plea to you is that you try as much as possible to work within the new timeline so that, again, we don't delay other processes that need to follow the data collection. I think once you receive a go-ahead from your institutions, you can be able to share, to fill in those documents and share with us. Remember that every institution is only required to share one response. So it's actually one response per institution for the 2 tools that we shared with you last week. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our training today.
Excuse
we are
me,
going, of course, to have another training next week.
Excuse me, sir.
Sharon,
Sorry. Yes, sorry to interrupt. I got that the deadline for the survey is today. What about for Friday? Sorry.
What I'm saying is that the deadline for submission of those 2 tools had been set for today, the 18th of March 2025. But because of the request from National Police for the extension of the same deadline, we've agreed to extend the deadline to 21st, Friday. So what we are saying basically is that please make sure that you submit that data before close of business Friday this week.
Thank
I hope
you.
that's clear now. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our training session for this week. Next week, we are still going to have another training session on management of the LMS. We'll be able to share the meeting links through our WhatsApp group so that all of you are well informed. For now, let me just thank all of you for attending and also thank our presenter for doing a great job. I would wish, as usual, to allow one of you to close for us with a word of prayer. Any volunteer
Mike,
can pray for
Mike,
us.
Mike.
Yes, Paul.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before you close, thank you so very much, Mike and Dr. Njoroge and also Joseph and all the participants. To the last one of you, kindly feel appreciated. Mike, have you reminded them on the how to submit? Some of them were asking to which email are they sending? Kindly remind them on that, then we can close.
Yes, Paul, I had mentioned the email that they need to share the tool to. It's actually research@tiveta.go.ke. The email is also part of the communication that we made. So if you check it in our WhatsApp group, you should be able to find the email. And also through the request we made to your official institutional emails, you should be able to find that email to which you need to share the filled-in accreditation tool. But it's easy to remember, research@tiveta.go.ke. So we can have a volunteer then pray for us to close. If you feel touched, you can just switch on your mic and close for us with a word of prayer.